you. Thank you so much. So I'll just quickly talk about a little bit about mental wellness. This is the expert. This is Mr. Jare, the handsome Mr. Jare. And thank you. My mom is also here. Oh my God, my mom joined this live. Mommy, thanks, mommy.
Hey, mommy, thank you for joining. Oh.
So I just want to really, so the reason why I thought that mental health is actually important, even as we're celebrating our first year anniversary, is because the statistics are alarming. The
Yeah.
statistics are really alarming.
So we're just talking about, depression, mental health, the total well-being. How do you handle the normal stresses of life? And then we spoke about the difference between mental health and physical health and how everything relates. And then we spoke about depression. What are the signs in depression? Persistent sadness, loss of interest, fatigue, withdrawal. And then there's anxiety, where you're worrying about the future. How will this go? Is this going to work out? You're thinking. Or you get easily irritability, you panic. And then there's burnout, which is emotional exhaustion, low motivation, detachment, which a lot of us find ourselves in most time. And then there's trauma, having flashback of things that have happened in the past. That's why you have some people have PTSD, post-traumatic past, and then you have bipolar, schizophrenia, mood swings, delusions, detachment from reality. And I would also want to talk about the fact that when do you know when to seek help? When you feel persistently overwhelmed or sad, please seek help. You're having trouble sleeping, eating, or functioning, please seek help. You are withdrawing from people or activities you once enjoyed, please seek help. You have thoughts of self-harm or suicidal thoughts, please seek help. Or you just feel like something isn't right with you for long. Do you get what I'm saying? So what can you do? Practice mental wellness. So practice self-care, rest, sleep, eat well. A lot of people don't know this, but the kind of food we eat sometimes has a way of affecting our mood. You know, Set boundaries at work. I will talk about that shortly. If you're doing 9 to 5, once it's 5, you can ensure that between 9 to 5 you give your all. Put your phone off. Just set that boundary. Do you get what I'm saying? So you have to do that. If not, you know, capitalism will keep taking advantage, right? Stay connected, talk to friends, go out, join support group, book clubs, limit social media overload, right? There's so much information out there. Limit it and then seek professional help, right? Getting therapy doesn't necessarily mean that you are crazy or something is necessarily wrong. It just be like a clarity with strategy, re-strategizing, like, your mind, your thoughts, and all of those things. How do you support others? For those that want to help people that might be struggling with their mental health, ask, how are you really doing? Or how is your heart? I like asking that question because the automatic answer when you ask someone how are you is, oh, I'm fine. Do you get what I'm saying? So you really want to ask that question saying, how are you really doing? How is your heart? Listen without judgment, right? You need to be able to listen to people without judging them. Avoid toxic positivity. You don't just tell someone, oh, you'll be fine, right? There's a way you can say it. Share resources, mental health hotlines, encourage professional help, basically. So those are things that we can be able to do, basically. Can you hear me? Hello? Can anyone hear me? I just want to be sure I'm not talking to my.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I don't be sure I'm not talking to
We
my.
can hear you clearly.
Yeah. So in terms
No, no,
of
no.
yeah, in terms of the workplace, I'll just keep talking. The truth is that we spend most of our lives at work. Do you get what I'm saying? And so you get to meet different kinds of personalities, right? So a healthy workplace is not just about productivity, it's also about people. And I can honestly relate to this, right? So you're meeting different personalities, people are dealing with all sorts. There's the Lagos traffic for those in Lagos. There's also the disadvantage of not being in the same space. You're trying to reach people for those working remotely, and you can't get the kind of answers that you need. And the truth is that we spend at least 8 to 12 hours a day at work, right? Because when you calculate 2 hours to get to work, 2 hours going back, do you get? So it says, when you calculate it, you're doing 8 hours in the office. It takes you 2 hours to come. That's 10 hours, 2 hours to go back. So that's 12. Do you get what I'm saying? So you're on your way. And so poor mental health affects productivity, right? Your morale, your engagement, your team relationship. And so if you have a lot going on at home or you have a lot bothering you, when you get to work, it can really affect things. So untreated mental health issues cost business billions annually, right? I saw some questions. So the truth is that What are some of the stressors at work? Unrealistic workloads. When they dump so much work on you, the impact is that you burn out, you have anxiety, you get exhausted easily. There's also toxic leadership or colleagues, right, which would cause low self-esteem or lack of motivation. And there's lack of work-life balance. You're always working Monday to Sunday. You don't have time. You barely have time. What will happen is that resentment begins to come in, emotional fatigue, and then poor communication. You don't know how to communicate well at work, which oftentimes leads to conflict. You'll be fighting with people because they don't understand what you're saying. You'll be stressed, and there will be a lot of confusion, right? And for companies that don't have mental health support, what will happen is people begin to feel isolated and begin to feel like they are not supported, right? So, what I would say is that for those on the call listening now or listening over again, as an employer, how can you provide mental health for, how can you create a safe space when it comes to mental health for your staff, right? Or if you are HR, what can you do exactly? So you need to create a safe space. Um, you need to create a safe space, stigma-free culture, encourage openness about stress, anxiety, burnout without judgment. Don't allow someone to say something and then you go back and
Answering some questions. So if we could just continue and maybe in the next 10 minutes we'll wrap it up so that we can
okay.
hopefully the
So
next week can reach us.
yeah, so I was saying like how employers can promote mental health in the workplace, create a safe, stigma-free culture, encourage openness, don't use what people say against them. There's a need to train the managers in emotional intelligence and mental health first aid, right? A colleague of mine was talking to me how she went to meet a supervisor. She wanted to pitch for the manager role. And this supervisor told her that, oh, she's not manager enough. That really broke her, right? And I had to try and encourage her basically. So there's a need for emotional intelligence. There's a need to also offer flexible work schedules. Where I currently work, they don't allow work from home like that. I get to work from home, so it's very important because when you enter traffic, you're coming very early in the morning, it messes with your brain. Then before you know, have to now do the work again. So there's a need for people, I mean, the employers listening to this, HR, please, let's have more flexible work schedule when possible. If we can do hybrid, time off, mental health days, people sometimes you're not just in the mood. Do you get what I'm saying? There's also a need to just provide access to support, therapy, reimbursement, counseling, EAPs, if companies can do this. So I know that we have HMOs, if they can also do this. Then also celebrate rest as much as possible. You know, last year, for example, personally, when I was on leave, I worked so much, I would have been better for me just to come to the office. Do you get what I'm saying? So if we can respect the leave days that people are taking and not give them work, let them actually enjoy the rest, basically. Let's encourage breaks as much as possible. Then how can employees protect their own mental health at work is to set boundaries, because all these things I said now, some people might be funny. When you intentionally set boundaries, once it's past 5, you don't reply emails, they will get the message. No one can come and, just make sure you shall do your work. You're not found wanting. Do you get what I'm saying? Because obviously, if there's a deadline for work that requires to be done a particular time, you can't then say, oh, you're not going to be available on that time, right? Take micro breaks, stretch. Sitting for too long is not good, right? Especially those of us that have to sit on our laptops from morning to night, right? Build a support circle so you can find other co-workers you can talk to. I've been in situations where people might have wanted to leave the company. I just calm them down, and then they're able to have a rethink. Speak up, right? If work is overwhelming, communicate it, right? Seek help. You go for therapy, coaching, peer support if available, or join sessions like this that happen basically. So signs of a mentally healthy work environment are employees feeling heard, valued, and safe. Leaders are more empathetic, open to feedback. Performance is supported by wellness and not fear. Conversations about burnout and stress are normalized, like it's okay. Do you get? So overall, you can't separate mental health performance, right? You can't